Welcome, everyone, to another Zen Thought. Today, we're going to be discussing loot crates, and I'm joined by Zaramaru and DbzEthioBoy. How's it going, guys?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, man. Oh, go ahead.
I'm doing fine.
You're doing fine?
That's all. Yeah, I am.
I suppose it's a good state of being. Good Zen state, being fine.
Yeah. I'm going in meditation.
All right, so as I was talking about, we're going to be discussing loot crates. So, loot crates, what are they? Of course, everybody knows what they are. They're just those random boxes that you get from games. Yeah, what?
Otherwise known as rage boxes.
Rage boxes. All right, so we're going to go around, everyone here, say who you are, where you're from, like channel-wise, and your experience with loot boxes. DB, do you want to take the point on this?
Hell no. Let's go.
Okay, fine. I'm Zeshin of HeroesNFools. Of course, you're on the channel. That's where I'm from. And my experience with loot boxes is mostly just a lot of rage that I had dealing with mobile games. A lot of times they have random draws from that, but more importantly, the oldest form of loot boxes, which is trading card packs. Way back when, used to play a lot of the good old Pokemon trading card game. Spent a lot of money on that, and then I moved from that to Yu-Gi-Oh, which is a lot of money. I say it's a lot of allowance money. And then I moved from, what was it, Yu-Gi-Oh! I traded like all my Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards for the old Dragon Ball Z card game. And then I just realized, looking at all the stuff I had like a bunch of worthless cards that nobody played. But yeah, I hadn't had a lot of good experiences with loot crates or trading card game pulls, or packs, I should say. Overall, I don't particularly care for them. I'll discuss more about that, but for the most part, I feel like people lean on it a little too much. So, you guys want to go next? Zaro?
Well, yeah. I guess I'll go next then. Oh yeah, I'm Saramaru. If you've not heard of me, I'm from the Saramaru Games channel. I guess I don't even.
Games.
Anyways,
Chan.
yes, Saramaru or Twitch, whatever you want to call me, whatever. Anyways, I'm a Norwegian dude. I can barely talk English, but it doesn't matter. Okay, my
Good
experience with loot box. Yeah, right.
I can tell.
Bastard. My experience with loot boxes is from the Counter-Strike Global Offensive crates that they have. That's the first time I actually got into it. And yeah, I mean, I haven't done much of it. I'm one of those like low spenders. I think I've only spent like,
You're a fish.
I don't know, like $500 on that.
I think that's what they call minnows. They're like you're a minnow, a dolphin, or a whale.
Wow.
What in the hell?
Yeah, that's like
I never heard of that.
legit terms from the businesses which push a lot of microtransactions on you. If you spend a lot, you're a whale. If you spend somewhat, you're a dolphin. And if you don't spend it much at all, you're a minnow and don't care. And they don't care.
Oh, damn.
Then I'm a minnow. I mean, I don't know how much $500 to them is, but
No, that's probably
whatever.
a dolphin.
Yeah.
You've upgraded to dolphin status.
They're looking.
But yeah, you spend $500, like $20 in profit. It doesn't matter. Not even profit. That's what I got back. But yeah, anyways, that's literally all I have in loot box. I've done a little bit of like Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm stuff, but other than that, not much.
All right. What about you, DB?
No, I am DB, and I come from my channel, DbzEthioBoy. It's a weird name. I get it. It gets a weird name. All right.
Well, I mean,
just
it's
don't think about it.
it's straight to the
Stop.
point. You're Dragon Ball Z. You're Ethiopian, and you're a boy.
I'm a boy. I'm a boy. Not a boy anymore,
Boy.
but it's fine.
Little boy? Yeah, you're a little boy now.
No, I'm not. I'm not a little boy. But My history with microtransaction is I think I would be a dolphin probably. Mostly I think I've spent the most money in an Overwatch, and I kept on thinking because every single time they released a what is it a seasonal crate, I would always think, oh yeah, I should buy this one, or I'll skip one, then I'll get the next one, and then I'll skip one, and then get the next one, and then I realized I spent $200 on it. I was like, oh okay, that's a lot of money just for some skins.
That's how they get you.
I'm just like, oh shit. And then other times it's just bullshit RNG, and I just get screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what was it? The latest craze with how loot boxes work compared to like back then it was of course like the random assortment of stuff, but eventually you'd always get something useful out of it. Nowadays it's like, okay, so we're gonna throw duplicates in there and we're gonna give you a lot of the same shit, so you have to keep buying again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you think about trading card packs, they've always pretty much done that, but they always guarantee a rare. Like every trading card game I've ever played guarantees a rare. You get one shiny. It might be a crappy one, but you get one.
Yeah, and then when you go to CS:GO crates, and they don't, you can get everything as the lowest tier of like 200 crates you open. You can get everything lowest tier, which is it's the rage.
Keys are expensive. Jesus.
Yeah.
And you gotta buy the crate.
So
you need to buy key and crate.
I wanted to lead that into my next point, to talk about what we hate and also potentially like about loot crates. Like if there's anything that it adds to a game, talk about that, or and of course like all the things that causes rage, because I'm sure we have plenty of that from the intro we had.
Yeah.
So me personally, I do find like I've always liked loot in RPGs, and if you think about it, that's pretty much what it is. WoW was like one of the first, well not first, but I think one of the more prominent games to actually really take advantage of what essentially a loot box is. Although what they really did, it's not like something that's paid for. They just had whenever you kill a monster, it's a random drop. Of course, they really tied that into the game. It's like, hey, hunt 50 wolf pelts or whatever. So yeah, go kill that monster like 5 billion times and eventually get what you need. After every time you kill it, it's like, okay, what'd I get? Not what I want.
I understand that.
Yeah. I've done that multiple times.
Because dumb DBO Global does that stupid stuff, and I'll be just there sitting for 30 minutes trying to get one damn pelt, and it's just like, nah, you hit that. RNG sucks. RNG sucks. RNG sucks.
Roll the dice. Personally, though, like one of the things I do like about loot, if it's not paid, is I do like getting random stuff that would contribute to like different things I could do with my characters. Like, I don't really think the hats per se did it in TF2, but there was stuff that you would get, like different weapons and whatnot, that could change your character completely. Like, what was it? I'm trying to remember. There's like, for the pyro, there was a flamethrower that you got that it was not as much on damage, but it had a much higher push. So you, instead of like becoming the chaos throwing your fire all around, you instead would do damage and push people off point. So your tactics would just completely change on that. And I kind of like getting things like that where you could like get contributing factors to the game, but I don't like it when money's tied to it.
I know what you're talking about with that pyro thing. Jesus. I hate that. I hate that strategy, because the strategy was you have the flamethrower, you push them, and then you take out your what is it, a flare gun, and you shoot them, and the flare gun had a attribute where it would crit if you hit someone midair, and so it would just be constant push shot, and you'd be dead. Okay.
Okay. So what about you guys? Was there anything that you've actually liked with I guess the best way to describe loot crates would be essentially random reward?
Mm-hmm. I think Destiny 2, since I'm playing the shit out of it so far, is a great example of a good loot box system. I don't like the fact that sometimes Blizzards are behind it, because Blizzard's loot box system are kind of stupid sometimes. But I like the way they handle it. It's mostly cosmetics. You could get some cool stuff and stuff that would push you a little bit, more, but it wouldn't really be that much of a push. Like they give you like 3 of the quote unquote loot boxes, and you get one every single time you level up after you hit endgame. And it's all just free cosmetics that give you ship vehicles, skins, call it weapon skins, skins that you put on, or shaders. And that's handled really nicely because it really isn't a big impact, but you just like, oh, I want to get some loot stuff, so I just go kill some stuff, do my missions, and bam, I can get like free ships. And so it's pretty good. Even though you could buy some stuff, and there's like a little starter kit that I bought, but still, I still like the game. I love Bungie. I supported them. That's the whole reason why I did it. Okay.
Although them shaders though, heard a lot of crap around that. Like
Yeah.
they switched to one use. A lot of people were not happy with that. Oh, hi
Yeah.
phone.
Oh, man.
So how about you, Zara? Got anything positive to say about loot crates?
I don't have positive at all. No,
Oh, Jesus.
no positive.
They are the cancer of video games.
I mean, the only positive thing about in my opinion, is that the company earns money. That's it.
Mhm.
If the company's a scumbag, then
Yeah.
Jesus. Valve. Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Wow.
Making enough money there, Ubisoft, or wait, what was the Battlefront? Is made by EA, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, is like you think you're not making enough money, EA?
Just
I like the quote that Sterling says on those situations. It's not about making more money. It's about making all of the money.
it's insane. I do have to say
More
for
the
one-
better.
I do have to say with CS:GO, the whole loot crate, or not loot crate, the cases. Jesus.
There's nothing
They-
positive about that. There's
No, there's not positive. Well, the one thing that's positive about it, which also might be negative, is that it drew a lot of people into CS:GO. I remember back
Yeah.
like when they first did it. That honestly, I joined CS:GO because of it, but I joined it because of the skins, because I saw so many people like, oh, this is a lot of money. People getting a bunch of skins, they sell it, blah 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 blah. I tried to do some of myself, but then I was shit on RNG, and I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna waste my time anymore. But then I stayed for the game. I like CS:GO. It's fun. It's cool. Nice shooting
Competitive, yeah.
game. Yeah, competitive. I like it. Cool. I stayed for that. But god damn, okay, that is the perfect situation of where loot system and loot crates get way out of hand. Jesus. Just
Yeah.
Gambling sites and just scandals after scandals, and just the fact that one knife could be well over $300, that's just god, it's just huge.
So, something I wanted to bring up, this is mostly like, so, within college, there was like a section where I was studying video game design that touched on what essentially is the psychological effect and why people use loot crates. It was mostly centered around like why MMOs were fun, but the whole like discussion was why are video games fun is what brought the attention to it. And I kind of wanted to discuss like what is the effects of it, what you guys think of it. But first, I wanted to bring up like what is the reason why I think people probably like loot crates, or why people will keep going for it, or even if they don't like loot crates, will keep buying it. It all entails down to an effect called the Skinner box. Well, I think it might not be called that specifically, but I know it's referred to as the Skinner box. Essentially, Skinner box is the idea that you could control somebody's behavior by presenting them with a reward. Depending upon how you do it will depend upon how you can gauge their behavior. Like if, for example, if I have a dog and they poop outside, if I immediately gave them a treat, every time that did that, they would eventually associate the treat with outside. So they would, in order to get the reward, would go outside, poop outside, and expect the treat. So as such, I then changed their behavior by using a reward every time they did an action that was something that I favored. So in this case, you get a bright, shiny sound and then a object, which eventually you start associating with a reward. Because if you think about it, most loot crates, the immediate effect of what you get, you don't know it's really rewarding because you don't know what the hell it does beyond if it looks good or if the sounds were good. But there are 3 different ways that, if I recall from that psychological study, that you can kind of manipulate somebody's behavior. One is the one that I mentioned. It's the immediate reward every time they do it, and that means that they will know to do that action to get the reward. The second one is you could reward them or present the reward at a specific time. So if I present a reward every day at noon, then you know that that reward is there. That means that what will happen is if it is a reward that you desire, your behavior will change to always be there to get the reward. And you could couple it with the first one to know that if I go there at noon and do this, then I get a reward. So you could even do this with like pigeons because it's like a very, very base primal thing. The third one, which has been shown to be the most effective way of manipulating, this is all organisms pretty much. If you have a survival instinct, this will affect you pretty much. The most effective way is the random reward. So you do the action and I present you with something that's not rewarding. You do the action again, I present you with something rewarding. So what your brain realizes is that if you keep doing the action, eventually you'll get the reward. I think you have to like present the reward first so that you know to associate the action with the reward. But this is what eventually ties into what a loot crate is. Loot crate is the random reward. They first will always present you with like a big positive. I've noticed this with gacha games a lot. You'll do your first pull and you'll always get something really good out of your first pull. You ever notice that?
Yeah, I did.
Like, do either of you play Dokkan?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't think I actually got the summons in Dokkan, but I also played, was it the Naruto game? And apparently they give you like a rare with that. So essentially they go, here is something very enticing for your action. And then the future times that you do it, you're then played to chance with their random reward system. So they're controlling your actions to engage you into this idea of you want to do the loot, but in order to get the loot, you have to do the actions that entail getting to the loot. So they first go, okay, here's the loot. Here's what you can get out of it. Okay, here's some more money. You could do it again. Oh, you didn't get something good. Oh, if you want to do the loot now, you got to do a bunch of actions in order to be able to do it. So now you're engaged in the action in order to actually get the loot. So that's the psychological effect. What do you guys think? Do you think this is kind of insidious that people take advantage of this effect? Or do you think like, okay, well, this is just a primal thing. It's whatever.
Primal thing. I'm losing money. What do you mean? Jesus. Primal thing. Of course it's fucking insidious. That movie sucked too. I don't really suck because I don't like scary movies. But anyway, besides that, yeah, I think it's a horrible thing. But hey, if you can exploit it to get money, then hey,
so
go for it.
So personally, oh, go ahead, Zara.
Yeah, I mean, some of these people use this as a they take advantage for it because like they're virtual skins or virtual items that it doesn't have a like prize on it. It doesn't have money. Well, from what it's actually is, so they can like take advantage of that, which is kind of stupid, but yeah.
Now, I wanted to say personally, I don't think that utilizing the Skinner box method on its own is necessarily problematic. One of the things I can point at as an example is with Minecraft. When you first go into the game, you punch a block, it has this very satisfying... That in itself is already an effect of Skinner box. Like I said, this is very, very instinctive. Like, you could do very little things to help engage the player into being interested in the world by giving them just these little rewards for doing things. And on top of that, the other thing you could think about with Minecraft, even in that same like idea, is that if you go mining, the chance of getting diamonds is also in that same idea. Every time you break a block, you see the block behind it, it might be a diamond. So people have used this concept quite often and probably not even thinking about it. But where I think it definitely becomes problematic is if you start using it to manipulate people to give money in order to keep doing it.
So, like what's it called? Who owns Minecraft right now? Forgot.
Microsoft.
Microsoft, yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft doing on the Xbox platform. Do they have that on PS? No, it's Microsoft. I'm stupid. Never mind. I'm doing my
No, it's on every platform.
It is.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's on Switch,
What?
it's on PS4, it's on PS3, it's on
on
Xbox.
Switch?
Yeah, it's on the Switch. I saw it on the Switch.
God, Microsoft is shady. They're infecting everything. They know that they got a cash cow. They're gonna milk the shit out of it, and they did because they put like in every console one, not the PC ones, which I'm so glad. Is they put all the the extra maps, the skins that you could buy. They put little microtransactions in there, and I don't know. I feel like one day they're gonna add a loot box because that's how Microsoft is. Microsoft's a bunch of
Loot box for random skins.
yeah. And all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, why would you buy that? You could just go buy a shit PC and just download your skin onto the Minecraft thing. I'm like, okay.
Well,
Yeah. Side note to that, I remember I tried to play. I got an Xbox One recently, and I tried to play Xbox One Minecraft. Okay, I already have Xbox 360 Minecraft, but Microsoft, being the fucking saints that they were, they told me that I have to buy a whole new Minecraft and I can't play it on the account because that was 360 and this is Xbox One. And, and people said like, oh, there was a time that was on sale. I'm like, what do you mean time was on sale? It's the same thing. It's Microsoft, Xbox. I should be able to be upgraded to it automatically. But no, they want to get more money. It's so stupid. You don't know how mad I was.
For the same game you've been playing on PC.
It's insane.
It's
God, man.
It's funny on Minecraft, by the way. The actual Microsoft build is way more efficient than the current Java build, but that's just difference in languages. I wish that they weren't trying to milk it. But at the very least, you can set your own skin. They didn't go as far as to screw you over on that. So, I had the topic in mind, and now it's slipping away. So, in the grab it. Okay, so before I went to the topic, I just remember I wanted to talk about in terms of loot crate experiences that I did have that were positive. I've been playing a lot of a game that is called Skullgirls on mobile. So every game on mobile has to be free. As such, they have to use some method to get money. And you can't do ads. What was it? The PewDiePie game did ads, and it apparently did terribly. I wish they would have just added a thing to bypass all the ads instead of just doing ads. It's kind of dumb. But the Skullgirls game is super fun. Of course, it has a lot of the effects of most mobile games. You have the stamina bullshit. You have to collect a separate currency, and said currency could be bought, and then you use the currency to get random pulls. But here's what I think is interesting, at least in terms of that. So for that game, the core game loop is actually satisfying and actually very fun to play. So I get to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I wouldn't mind actually throwing money at this because this is a game I would like to support. And you could keep doing that at any point. And then you get the loot boxes as a reward. But it's not really the way the game is played, it's not shoved down your throat that it's a necessity to get these things. Of course, you could spend the gems to recover stamina, but unlike most games that utilize the stamina bar, which by the way is a very, very insidious thing. I'll discuss that in a second. But it's stamina per character, and I have 12, 14 different characters. So by the time I actually finish playing a character, start using a new character. By the time I'm done playing with that character, I could jump back on the first character. So like the stamina is not exactly that problematic. And I don't know. I like getting the random characters with it as well, because like when you do the loot drops, you get potentially new characters, and then you got a new whole thing you could build up and whatnot. So for me, the reward is actually fairly satisfying, and it's not in your face a requirement to throw money at it in order to get it. You could just get more by throwing money at it. Where I find it dubious is when these games have these mechanics, they make it pretty unbearable to play, because you get to play for like 10 minutes, and then your stamina's out, and then you gotta wait a while, and then you can play for another 10 minutes. So essentially what that makes it, which is why I say it's dubious, it makes every single action that you do in the game, like, you have to really think about it. Because like, do I go in at this? This thing is like limited time offer, so if I don't get all the stones now, then I can't get that summon or whatever the hell it is. So you end up like gearing your actions to get to it, and then you realize, okay, well, I can't possibly get this character unless I throw money at it. That's where I find it problematic, because first off, they're making all your actions geared to this idea that you have to do things at a certain time, and you have to like really think about what you're doing in order to get that summon to eventually get to the point, well, if I want it, I'm gonna have to throw money at it, and then you might not even get it. That's also like the end product, which I think is stupid, is the RNG. If I throw money at something and I want to get something, I should be able to get that something.
I agree. 100%. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the things I don't understand what Overwatch doesn't do, is they have all the loot crates and whatnot. Why can't you purchase the skins directly? Like,
Depends on the...
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think this might be a little more, a little worse, because you have to, in order to get the currency to buy skins, you have to get duplicates in boxes, or just get straight up coins or currency that you could get, which is stupid and bullshit, because a regular legendary skin is about 1,000 currency. But if you get a legendary like currency box, like loot box that gives you currency, it's only, I think, 250, and that's bullshit. I mean, it's basically the RNG screwed me, because they didn't give me a new skin. They gave me currency for a skin, and it's not even that much where I can get a skin. It's like a fraction of it. I'm just like, okay, that makes sense. So in order for you to get, and the seasonal ones, they bump up the price by three times. So if you want like a purple one, which is usually 250, you have to pay 750. If you want to get a legendary one, it costs 3,000. So you have to like keep on buying loot boxes in order to get the currency and get skins you want. And I see people
spending money.
Exactly.
Yep.
I've seen people with like 69,000, and I'm just like, how many boxes did you open in order to get that amount? I mean, they did technically help it, where they drastically put down the duplicates, but it still has a chance for duplicate. It's still
So what you're saying is they have a built-in shame number.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of this currency that you can't buy directly, well, clearly you bought a lot of loot crates. Shame.
They actually did it for Hearthstone too. Hearthstone has a little thing that in 40 packs, if you don't get a legendary, they'll give you a shame legendary.
A shame legendary.
A shame legendary in 40 packs. That's why people have sometimes when they open packs, they have a 40 counter, because that's how the system works, is they do that. So
I mean,
sucks.
that's at least a positive note. That they'll
40
eventually... Yeah, 40 packs is still pretty shit, but at the very least, they have some mechanic to get you a thing that you're trying to go for. As long as it's not like, well, we put it in our system that the rarity of those is now lower because we added it in. I don't think they did that. If they did, then they're complete garbage shit, but,
I mean, they're fixing, Blizzard's fixing some of their stuff, because I heard that they changed the duplicates for legendaries on Hearthstone 2, where you can't get the same legendary, but you can't get the same golden legendary either. As soon as you get the regular legendary, in order to get the golden version, you have to disenchant your legendary and then hope to God RNG that you get a golden one, if you wish to get a golden one, for that matter. So Blizzard got some really sneaky ass ways to do some shit. It's really insane. And God, man, that's why they're so successful. And they have BlizzCon and all that kind of stuff because
Get all that money.
Yeah.
One
One of my things with like mobile, when it comes to the stamina thing, I played Clash of Clans. Is it? Yeah.
Oh God, that game.
Oh God.
It's literally like I came to the point where I'm literally waiting 5 days to get one thing, and I want to upgrade this building. How long is it gonna take? Yeah, 10 days. Yeah, that's fine. Just how many gems is that gonna cost? It's gonna cost me like 10 grand of gems. Let me see, how much is the gems on the store? Oh yeah, $1,000 is around there. Okay, nice.
$1,000?
To upgrade, no wait, $100.
$100.
150. I'm thinking like my
Jesus.
currency, just 150 to upgrade one building. No, I'm not doing that. I stopped playing that game because of that.
Isn't that one? Sorry, isn't that one of those games that also like other players could just ruin all your progress as well?
No,
they
no,
can't.
no, no.
They can't ruin your progress, but they can like come and.
They can
attack.
raid you and like steal your money and shit.
Oh yeah, they can steal your money and they can steal your. I think it was resources too, because
Yeah,
depending
yeah.
if you didn't come and collect your little resources that
They could
produce.
steal it from the mines. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, you could like they allow it, so they're like, oh yeah, if you want a gold or like elixir, which is like one of the resources, you can like buy it with gems. You can fill up your like containers full, and I'm like, oh, thank you after stealing all my stuff.
Well, I'm thinking about that. So that's gold that you use for upgrades, which I assume they have a separate economy that could do the same thing, right? That's the separate economy being the money economy.
Yeah.
So they have a built-in mechanic that if you have not spent enough money to keep your defenses up, that other players will prevent you from progressing because you lose your progress when they steal it, meaning you have to then buy their currency money.
Yeah. At this point right now, I'm not gonna be able to get up to the point where I will have enough to upgrade. So I have to buy gems to spend for the money and then buy gems if I want to speed up the process of building. Which is stupid to me because it's literally they're making a game where you have to wait. You have to wait. And it could be up to weeks.
That also reminds me of another game, which was Strongholds. I don't think it was a mobile ever, but it was like a Facebook game, where they did the whole waiting thing. But in that game, if somebody raids you, you get like 10 days or whatever. If somebody raids you, you literally lose everything. And they have a very similar concept of like spending days and time to build up.
I hate that. At the start, it's fine because it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20, 30, and whatnot. That's fine. But literally, I'm on the game, clicking build, upgrade. That's it. I have to go out of the game because I can't do anything else.
Just stare at the graphics.
Fun. Yeah. That's fun, man.
Which, it's funny because like a lot of these games, they're very successful, but if you look at it, the game is garbage. Like
it is, yeah.
Clash of Clans? I haven't really seen much of the. Well, not Clash. Is it Clash of Clans? Yeah, you said Clash.
It
of
is
Clans.
Clash of Clans, yeah.
Sorry, I was mixing it up with our other mobile game. But yeah, in those kind of games, it's like, oh, I just lost my thought. Fuck. Okay, well, yeah, in those kind of games, you're pretty much you know you're spending money, building it up and whatnot. It's I don't know, it's just garbage.
It is.
Like that. That's why like when I compare that kind of game to Skullgirls. Skullgirls has like a core fun loop. I love playing that game and I love coming back to it. So all the like loot crate stuff, all the microtransactions, all that stuff, it's like I don't mind it because I'm having fun with the game. But if I play something like Clash of Clans, which makes all this money because all they do is take advantage of the Skinner box method and nothing else,
Yeah.
you get bored real quick. There's one of the
I spent way more money than I should have on that game.
well, you had to in order to play it. That's how it
Yeah.
works.
That's the stupid thing. And then at a point, you're like, okay, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Screw you, game. Screw you. Not playing anymore.
But it comes down. It also had the same feeling with things like Dokkan and what was the other mobile game at the time? I think there was like a One Piece one. Where
There's a Bleach one.
yeah, well, a lot of them had like really bad core loops. I know like Dokkan in particular, all the core loop was pretty much set up your team and then execute it and hope you had high enough numbers. And then they had this little bubble popping thing. Like overall, I don't find that fun.
I don't either.
So
the Bleach game did that so much better. They actually have like a fighting game.